Hello, this is Adam Bernard with AutoPerspectives, and it's time to look back on the last week in the auto industry and round up some of the more interesting stories. Welcome to my new subscribers, and let's get started with our friends at Volkswagen, where they are working on EVs for everyone. Appropriately enough, with a concept expected to be unveiled next month called the VW ID Everyone. This previews a production vehicle known as the ID1 that will launch in about 2 years, in 2027, with a target price of about 20,000 euros, or about $21,000. That's the sketch that you see here in yellow, officially provided by Volkswagen. This vehicle essentially replaces the E-Up, which was dropped a few years ago. That was a converted internal combustion vehicle, but it did serve as Volkswagen's entry-level EV. Affordability is a big problem in the auto industry these days. Consumers are very much aware of it. Automakers are very much aware of it. And so Volkswagen is working on a plan to bring EV prices down. Now, for this particular vehicle, Volkswagen had actually talked about partnering with Renault. Renault is working on rebooting the Twingo minicar from the 1990s as a full EV vehicle. The talks fell through. Renault decided to partner with an unnamed Chinese engineering firm to get things done more quickly. So they'll be in market in 2026. Volkswagen has decided to go their own way with the MEB entry architecture. One of the interesting cost-cutting options we've heard rumored is ditching a conventional touchscreen, which of course almost every vehicle has these days, for a smartphone dock. We'll have to wait until we see the interior photos officially next month. Now, I mentioned MEB entry. This is a new architecture which is going to form a family of affordable EVs. It was previewed by the ID2 All last year. That's the vehicle that you see here in blue, as well as the ID GTI concepts. The production version will launch as the ID2 this year. It should look almost identical to what you see here. And it will be followed by the ID2X small SUV, the Skoda Epic, which is the gray SUV that you see there on the upper right, and the Cupra Raval, which is the sporty little hatchback that you see in the lower right. Now, MEB entry, as you might expect, is derived from MEB. That's VW's high-volume global EV platform. It is rear drive. It sources everything from the little ID3 hatchback up to the ID Buzz minivan. But MEB entry is actually now front drive, which will free up some cargo space, and smaller as well. Volkswagen has promised more physical controls, including a volume control and steering wheel mounted thumb wheels. No more of those capacitive switches, which are driving some buyers crazy. The ID2 All was shown with a 223 horsepower motor and an estimated range of about 240 miles on the EPA cycle, obviously longer on the more optimistic European cycle. There may be different battery and motor configurations, but no all-wheel drive. All three of these vehicles are expected to be built in Spain, starting at about 25,000 euros. We don't know yet where the ID1 is going to be built. They may be choosing a lower labor rate country to do that in. Volkswagen kind of pioneered the idea of modular platforms, the idea of an interchangeable Lego set of modules to build vehicles. And that's the approach they've been taking for EVs as well. Now, the ID3 and the ID4 got off to a pretty rough launch. If they can address those problems, get it fixed, and get these vehicles in market, and with a decent level of quality and technological execution, they might have a portfolio of interesting and appealing affordable EVs for literally everyone. Next up, we have BMW, who are working on potentially the ultimate driving EV. Now, this is a concept that you're looking at here, not production intent, but it's designed to be a rolling laboratory of interesting technological ideas. It's called the Vision Driving Experience Concept. And if it looks familiar, it should. You might remember in 2023 at CES, BMW showed the Neue Class or New Class concept. It was a sedan, which essentially previews what we think will be called the BMW i3 when it launches in 2026. This is kind of a wide-body, sporty version of that vehicle and more production intent. Now, underneath is what BMW calls the Heart of Joy, and that's in the little box there in the upper right. It is an all-in-one module that manages powertrain, brakes, steering, stability, control, and charging. Now, while Volkswagen has gone to Rivian for help with their software issues, BMW is going solo. This was developed entirely in-house. It has 4 what they call super brains fused into a single computer. What this gives them is the ability to process data up to 10 times faster than BMWs from 4 years ago, claiming, for example, cornering with unparalleled smoothness and ease. VWs are getting more, automobiles are getting more complicated these days. And so BMW felt the best way to provide the ultimate driving experience was to be able to coordinate all of the onboard systems. Underneath this particular concept, there are 4 motors. They develop reportedly over 13,000 foot-pounds of torque at the wheels. That's even more than what the Hummer EV reported at 11,500. But again, just a concept, no guarantees for production yet. BMW claims the efficiency of the vehicle is improved about 25%, aided by the integration of powertrain, braking, and energy recuperation. In fact, the energy recuperation setup here is so efficient that in normal driving, BMW says that conventional friction brakes are only needed about 2% of the time. Now, BMW is a driving machine and a driver's car, and so what helps this concept stick to the road are fans. 5 fans that are called impellers literally suck the vehicle to the ground. Each impeller requires about 50 kilowatts of energy, but generate a combined 1,000 kilograms of downforce. As I said, this is based on the Neue class concept, but it is inching towards production. This vehicle shows new mirrors, a thicker B-pillar, redesigned rear doors, and some rather unusual-looking spoiler-mounted tail lamps. So we may see the production i3 unveiled at the Munich Motor Show, IAA, this September, but it should be on sale next year. So while we know that BMW hasn't set an end date on internal combustion vehicles, we know that some automakers who have done that have been doing what we might call compliance EVs. Vehicles that are designed to help reduce emissions but aren't really true to the brand or fun to drive or powerful or interesting. It looks like BMW is not cutting corners on their future EVs because these look to be pretty competitive. Moving over to Volvo, we have the EX60 with an image courtesy of Top Electric SUV. The 3-row larger EX90 is already in market after a lot of launch delays, mostly software related. And the ES90 luxury sedan is due to be revealed in the next couple of weeks. But now we are getting more details on the EX60. Now, this will be sold alongside Volvo's XC60. You might recall at one point, Volvo has said that by the end of the decade, they were planning to be 100% all electric. And well, obviously market dynamics are shifting, and they've decided they have a new goal. And that goal is to be 90% plug-in by the end of the decade. And that means 90% of their volume will come from either electric vehicles or from plug-in hybrids. They haven't specified the split yet. Now, this is a pretty competitive segment, compact luxury SUVs. It includes the Tesla Model Y, the Audi Q6 e-tron, the Porsche Macan Electric, the aforementioned BMW iX3, and the upcoming Mercedes GLC EQ. So quite a bit going on here. Underneath the EX60 is the new SPA3 platform. It is an 800-volt architecture. Now, the current Volvo and Polestar EVs are all 400 volts, and 800 volts allows you, among other things, to charge more quickly. So they're claiming expecting about 110 miles on the EPA cycle in 6 minutes with bi-directional charging capability. And that would make this vehicle very competitive with the new competitors incoming from Audi and BMW and Mercedes. The SPA3 platform also features cell-to-body architecture. Normally, if you have an EV, you put the battery cells, you put them in a module, you put the modules in a pack, you put the pack in a car. This goes cell to body, so you're literally eliminating a couple of steps, which helps reduce cost and reduce mass. Volvo also notes and claims a 50% higher energy density in the new batteries that they are developing with Northvolt. So at the end of the day, you have a vehicle that's much more competitive in terms of performance and range and charging. And so given the increasing competitiveness in the segment, should put Volvo in a pretty good position. And finally, Maextro. Maextro may be one of the most interesting brands you've never heard of. Even if you do live in China, which is the only place these vehicles will be sold starting in May. This is a joint brand developed by Huawei, which is the Chinese smartphone giant like Apple or Samsung, and JAC, a Chinese automaker who, among other things, is one of Volkswagen Group's primary partners in China. This vehicle is expected to be priced at $135,000 to $205,000. And at 216 inches long, it is a big luxury sedan. So yes, they're looking at Bentley and Maybach and Rolls-Royce as competition. It's available as a full EV or as an extended range EV with a small gasoline engine as a range extender, dual motor or tri-motor configuration, and up to a very impressive 850 horsepower, which is more than you can get out of any current Bentley or Rolls-Royce in market, gas or electric. It is an 800-volt architecture. They claim that the EREV will charge from 10 to 80% in a very quick 10.5 minutes. Not quite as fast as filling up with gas, but gosh, it's pretty darn close. This showcases Huawei's newest digital platform because they are software experts. It includes road perception, adaptive torque, and body control systems. Among the other bells and whistles here are an active suspension with four-wheel steering in crab mode, which is very good to help this very large sedan maneuver in and about Chinese streets. The automated driving is supported by 32 sensors, including 4 LiDAR units. These can help increase the detection in rain, fog, and dust by 60% over current technology. And frankly, inclement weather is a big obstacle to getting automated driving to work properly. As a luxury sedan, there's a little bling in here as well. Fiber optics and LEDs are used in headlamps, tail lamps, door handles, and even the headliner, just like Rolls-Royce, to provide a little extra sparkle. Why are Huawei and JAC doing this? Well, to quote John Dillinger, that's where the money is. China is Rolls-Royce's second largest market, so there are a lot of high net worth individuals there. And even though Bentley and Rolls-Royce both saw sales declines in China in 2024, the pressure is on, and some of these Chinese upstarts are looking for a piece of the action. That about rounds things up for Auto Perspectives this week. If you want to learn more, please visit www.autoperspectives.net. If you like what you see, please subscribe and share, and we'll see you here next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.